My name is Mrs. Johnson. I teach at East Boston High School, and I'll be the first to admit I'm straight out of the dark ages. I do not own a cell phone, and that's not by choice. That's only because of priority. And I figure like this, if the next person beside me has a cell phone and it's an emergency, I can ask them. Okay? All jokes aside, although I am out of the dark ages, I forced myself to take 3 computer graphic courses at Mass College of Art because I wanted to be on point when it came to teaching my students technology. Unfortunately for me, I've never had the pleasure of having a classroom that was fully equipped with the technology for me to teach my classes. So I feel you on the level of not having up-to-date software because I don't even have up-to-date hardware, okay? Not to put down BPS or anything like that. I've taken several courses so that I could get free computers in my classroom, all right? And I just want to make a comment. I don't even have a question. My comment is this. As a teacher, I am pro technology in the classroom. You can have your cell phone to take notes. When I give a test, your cell phone has to be on top of the table.
Hi, I'm Meg Young, and I work at Mass Art, so I'm very glad she took some training there. My question for you guys is, I want to talk a little bit about English and math. I work at an art school, and I work in computer arts, so we use technology all the time to deliver visual curriculum. But in terms of English and math, I'm just curious as to, because we all know that's what the Board of Education cares about, English and math. How many of your teachers use technology in your English and math classes? How many don't? And how many of you are doing really well in your English and math without technology?
I know that in my school, in my English class, we use technology to do papers and research and things like that. My first and second term, we used the computer to do research on a book that we just finished reading. It's called Invisible Man, and it was very difficult because the book was very difficult. And we were given the opportunity to use the computer, but also the library as another source because our teacher didn't want us to rely on the computer as much. Because a lot of times when you go to different websites, some of the websites don't give you all the information that you need. So she also said for us to use the library. In my math class, we don't use that much, and we're not really learning much because the teacher that we have is not supposed to be teaching that math class. He's supposed to be teaching a different subject. And it's very difficult for me to learn in my math class because he has an accent that's very strong. It's hard for us to understand what he's teaching, and we get frustrated because he doesn't know what he's doing, and he gets frustrated with us because we get frustrated with him, and it's very hard to learn different things in one class and then a different thing in another class. So I'm kind of in between learning good in my English and in my math class. So it's
in my English class, we use technology a lot. I just recently had to do a research paper about myself, and it was just basically gathering information about my culture and, like basic information about myself. And it's more like just to get information, but it's not that we rely on it a lot because there's also books, encyclopedias, information, like books on the culture. And it's not that we always got to use the computer. Like if you have patience to read, you have patience to grab a book and do the same thing you do on the computer and read the information. In my math class, we don't use technology a lot because you can't really do your math problems on the computer.
But do your teachers use technology to help teach? So, do they use technology to
I think that
or demonstrate a problem?
Well, not in my math class, and I don't. in my English is not really, to be honest.
Well, in my English class, we usually just use the computer to type. We haven't done any research on anything or anything like that. History, we usually do, but that's a completely different. Math, I use a program, a software that helps us. I understand everything the teacher says, but there's some other people that haven't learned like the basics. Like, for example, I'm taking advanced algebra. Some people, like, they messed up freshman year and didn't pay attention to the basics. She used the software like every once a week to go back to the basics. So then when we go back to the classwork and they add what we learned with the current lesson or whatever. So I think, yeah, it depends.
My ELA teacher, what she's going to make us do for the third quarter that we're in now is we're reading a book called The Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. So by the time this book finished, she wants us to do a blog, like use the internet to make a blog. She's copying back 25 News. And she wants us to write a blog about the book on our own opinions so that we can go on the website and other students get to read what other students say about the book or how they understand the book or how the book was difficult or how it was born. It was born to me. So she wants us to write a blog on the internet. So she's going to go on this web page. She's going to make a web page, and then we're going to and she's going to put our essays up there too, because we have to write an essay about it. And in my chemistry class, he have a website already where you find the homework if you wasn't in school, where you find the classwork if you wasn't in school, some notes that you missed. He have it all there on the internet, and we have the web page. And like I go on it every time. Even if I'm having a hard time in class, I go on it and everything is there. He puts it under Lego, everything. It's mad easy. In my math class, he makes us use the book. And then sometimes you just go on the webpage and you can find tests that can help you with the quizzes on Friday. So he let us use the CD-ROM from the book, the book that we're using. And my school basically we use it a lot to help us with coming up tests, doing papers. So that's it.